Hello, implementers. I'm Anthony English, and this is podcast episode number 18 of the Learn to Implement podcast, where you will learn how to beat perfectionism, fight procrastination, and implement on some of those plans that you've been thinking about doing. Now, I've got a question for you. Do you ever have a task that should take you 20 minutes and it ends up taking 2 hours? Yeah, I know you're about to hear a lecture from me about if you only knuckled down, if you only focused on it, then no. You're not going to get that lecture from me. In fact, I'm going to give you the opposite. Now, this is going to be, like a lot of my advice, is going to be counterintuitive. But what I want you to do next time you have a 20-minute task to do, just think of something right now that you think there's a lot of copying and pasting. Let's say that it's something on your computer and it's going to be a lot of copying and pasting, maybe a bit of research. Maybe you've got to organize things. You've got to get the right tool, the right software to do it. Hey, this can apply to anything. It doesn't only have to apply to technical stuff, but since you are probably a knowledge worker listening to this podcast, then I might be on the money here, right? Let's say that it's some software that you have just decided that you want to set up, or you want to copy things across from something else and to put it onto this new software, consolidate it, have it all in the one place. And in reality, if you thought about it, you think, if I really just focused on that for 20 minutes, I could get it done. But in your mind, you're sort of thinking that's going to take me hours. I really don't know how long it's going to take. And I've got this obstacle. I've got to wait for somebody else to get back to me. I've got this information that I need. I need to learn how to do this. So you've just built up in your head a whole lot of hurdles, a whole lot of roadblocks, many reasons why that 20-minute job drags on to 2 hours, not 2 hours. Speaking from experience, it might be 2 weeks or 2 months, okay? Not 2 months of constant work, but 2 months of procrastination. Now, I know it sounds like I'm building up to come on, just focus, get on it, motivate yourself. It'll only take you 20 minutes. I'm actually going to tell you the opposite. I have found, speaking primarily from technical experience, on technical things, on software things, but this applies very widely. I have found that sometimes, very often in fact, is worth sitting back and not doing that 20-minute job. Yes, you have my permission to procrastinate, but here's why. Procrastinate means to put off till tomorrow. Cras, the Latin word for tomorrow, until tomorrow. But is it possible that that task that you've got, that job that you have to do, is going to happen again another time? Is it possible that that bank reconciliation that you have to do for your business, or that paying somebody, maybe some accounts thing that you have to do, or summarizing something in an email, is it possible that that is a job that in the future you will be asked, you'll be expected to do it again? I'll give you a moment to think, and I know the answer is yes. If you were to apply this thing, instead of thinking, I've just got to get this across the line, I've just got to get this past, just once I've got this done and dusted and it's out of the way, then it's out of my mind. But ask yourself, is this something that maybe you would need to do another time? Now, is the answer yes, and yes, the answer is yes, then you might say, next time do I want to go through all of that procrastination thing again? So what it pays to do is to spend 2 hours on that 20-minute task. Like, that's ridiculous. No, it's not ridiculous. Spending 2 hours on that 20-minute task, but how on earth? Well, the idea here is that you are not just doing that task, not just getting that job done and getting it out of the way. Okay, I've done, I've sent it off, I've closed this, let's move on. No, you have built, or you are going to build, on my recommendation, I suggest that you build some sort of system, some sort of template, some sort of way of saying, I may have to do this thing again. Instead of me doing it sloppily for 20 minutes, let me step back and start with the most frustrating, difficult, challenging, annoying part of it and say, if this were easy, if I could wave a magic wand, what would this look like? If this could just be done, what would done look like? Now, I do this all the time, but I did it during the week, this week, where I had a job that was taking me probably an hour or a little bit more each time I had to do it. And I know for certain that this is a job that is going to be repeated. And so what I did was I took 2 hours. I stepped back and I said, instead of using this application that I'm using, this spreadsheet application to do this, what would be another way of achieving this particular outcome? And lo and behold, there was a different application that was a whole lot easier, neater, cleaner, easier to share, and that I could show to others, because this thing that I have to do, I have to share, I have to get others to do it as well. So that justifies making some sort of system. And as I've told you before on this podcast, a system doesn't need to be daunting. It doesn't need to be you writing some code or anything like that. A system can be as simple as an index card with 5 bullet points on it. If you were to explain it to me, and though I don't know anything about your work or what it is that you need to do, if you were to explain it to me, what would be the 5 key things that you would absolutely have to do? Get rid of anything that's just nice to have, and just say, at the bare minimum, this job will not be done unless I've done A, B, C, D, and E, and put them in the right order. And you might find, maybe I could just create a little system just for step A. I'm going to create an email template. Here is a sample email so that every time I write to this kind of person, I'm going to have a sample email, at least an outline that says, greet them, begin with a subject heading that is going to catch their attention. Don't start with, I hope you are well, or I hope this email finds you well. Start with about that topic that we were talking about. You remember? We spoke the other night about X. I've been thinking about that idea, so just get straight into it. And so you've got a little email template. I do this when I buy an appliance for our home, and I think I need to register that for warranty, which you never think about doing. So I do it. Now I've got a system. I know that when I register this for warranty, I'm going to have proof of purchase. I'm going to have to log online to some place, and I'm going to have to give them my address and proof of purchase and maybe the serial number of the thing. And so I put them all into a Google document, including the picture of the receipt if I've got that. And then I've got it all in the one place stored there. So next time, if I don't need to request the warranty on that, request a repair or replacement, at least I've got a system in place so the next time I buy an appliance, I've got that all ready. So the idea here is spend 2 hours turning that 20-minute task, because it's not just 20 minutes. It's 20 minutes plus procrastination time, plus the number of times that you've got to do that task again and again and again in the future. Waste 2 hours to find a better way to do it. Not the best way to do it, not a perfect system, but at least a system. So this is my permission to you to waste 2 hours procrastinating, if you like, on a task that should just take you 20 minutes. That's it for today. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.